America is obviously valuing specific things just slightly higher, and with the success rate that it seems to be having, I'm not sold on being like it is right, but definitely more accurate than it's been in a long way.
Yeah, when I said right, I mainly just meant their priorities in draft, right? Yeah. Where, I mean, both teams know what heroes are really good, but where they pick them is what really differentiates. And there it is, Method banning the Abathur right away. It is Towers of Doom as well. Man, we've seen this map a lot this tournament. I love it personally. I like the pumpkin sappers, so it's always fun for me to watch them fly in towards the core.
Feels like it is a North American favorite to go to Towers of Doom. Quite a lot of our NA teams enjoying it.
I mean, just one thing that I was going to say, it's one of Method's weaker maps. Currently, they are rocking like a 1-0 record. Sorry, 1-0. What am I saying? A 1-3 record with that. So I guess this is HeroesHearth just trying to take them up on the battleground, hoping that they can bring it to them, because it is one of Method's weaker maps, traditionally speaking.
Abathur ban for Method is... I feel like it's not even a... We are going to see Maiev somewhere. Yes. HeroesHearth have played her. Method have played her. Are we at first pick yet?
It's Malf or Maiev. Which one is it? See, that's what I am so curious. And it looks like they actually are probably going to be taking their time, so they don't even know.
You just gave me a great idea. Eminem, Malf, or Maiev.
Well, I guess Method didn't play her either. Earlier, I was thinking of Fnatic, who showed great plays there, but... You know, I think about a certain player named Schwimpy, and I think probably it's in that arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like they're gonna go for the mouth. I don't know what it is, but I just kind of have a feeling that it kind of goes back to what Dread was saying. Is I feel like they've been really stubborn this tournament, and I don't know if they're gonna change it up.
Oh, baby.
Tracer.
So what does this do? Generally speaking, what does it do in shift to priority for HeroesHearth? Because this is a really interesting choice to open with the Tracer rather than Malf with the assumption of that later on. It's going to force a priority, in theory, onto Malfurion as a must pick for HeroesHearth. And then with that, Blaze has got to be a focus, but then we have Maiev.
There's also Tyrael.
And there's still Tyrael.
Yeah.
So many good picks. Who do they prioritize? I mean, when you're looking at that Tracer, what do you want then out of that? Do you want the Maiev to dive it? Do you want the Tyrael?
I think the Maiev is the best synergy, and because not only does it counter Tracer in both states of taking it away, but then Maiev synergizes with Malf and then also soft counters the Tracer. So generally speaking, that's the most countering while being synergistic at the same time. But is that worth this high of a priority, or does HeroesHearth even want to take that risk? Or maybe, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if HeroesHearth honestly gets a little bit wild with this series and some of their draft. I don't think game one should be the place where they start with it, especially not in that rotation. There's the Maiev, and they go with the Blaze over the mouth.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't pick up the Malfurion to help deny Tracer, and just how much, I guess, safety she can get by playing with that mouth, by getting the regrowth on her and having that constant healing. I'm surprised.
Tyrael, and there's the Malfurion. So, I mean, this is exactly what we would expect, except once we see the Blaze locked in from HeroesHearth. That was their choice, is do you want that Malf? And then everything past this is very, you know, up to snuff here, if you will.
Yeah, it's basically you choose one of the three. And I actually, the more I think about it, I like the Blaze pickup. I feel like Bunker is a really good counter to Maiev, right? With her cage, you just have a bunker in the middle of it, and everyone can get out, and they'll be safe being able to get armor. Whereas Tyrael, Sanctification, I don't feel like is as good of a counter, just because it's able to be interrupted, right? So if Tyrael's in the middle of the cage, you can get a silence off, you can pull him out, stop the cast. I like the Blaze pickup, as well as it's a really good solo laner on the top side. They could theoretically pick up a third tank, or a second tank, and then run Blaze as well, yeah, they'd run Blaze as the off laner. I like it.
What we saw before from HeroesHearth was that Arthalan was the Maiev player, so we're expecting then to have yet another melee come in for HeroesHearth then?
I think it's fair to assume for HeroesHearth with this composition for them to be able to pick that up. I like the fact that they were willing to ban the Dehaka here, putting a lot of focus into what the map might look like in the pressure, having Blaze as a very, very dominant macro-oriented hero. I mean, he can obviously teamfight amazingly as well, but he's one of the few that can really mix it up and do a little bit of everything here. And I feel like anytime we see North America take up on EU, it's a must-have, just because rotationally, generally speaking, we are a smidge weaker. Varian being hovered, can't help but feel like that's a bit drastic.
See, that's what I feel like. I know Tempo Storm did play it today, but I feel like I don't I don't really like it. I mean, they do go for it. I mean, there are a lot of pros to doing it, right? Towers of Doom is a map that is guaranteed late game, just the nature of the way the altar works. So you're going to get that level 10 taunt, which is very strong against the Tracer. So, I mean, the ban makes sense. I just don't know if they might have been better just letting it through and exploding the early game.
With that, because it feels like that slight out of place. You can see the argument, but it doesn't feel like is it worth the commitment? I would like to see, I can't think off the top of my head, but another pick that really kind of makes it scream. What is that other target that you don't want to get taunted out, to get that dive, pairing out with Tracer? I feel like
Okay, what about Kerrigan?
For Heroes Hearth?
No, for Method.
Oh.
To be that hero?
To be that hero.
That would be the taunt fear mixed with the synergy on Tyrael. It would be very death ball oriented, all in. I mean, I want to say yes only because it's like a bit more, meta, obviously, as Kerrigan's kind of making a name for herself, but I will say that I still have my reserves on supporting the Kerrigan pick in a lot of cases, not only just this one.
For now, until they pick Kerrigan. Don't prove us wrong.
All right, we've got a Gul'dan and a Rhaegar now picked up by Heroes Hearth. Maybe a change then in priority. No, actually with that before, Gul'dan still was played by Crowan. That was an adaptation that Crowan had earlier on. So in this case, Horrify maybe trying to deny some of those big heroic abilities. Twilight Dream as Malfurion walks in. Sanctification is a big deal too, especially if Sanctification is the way to bail people out from IF.
Yeah, I actually, seeing the Gul'dan Rhaegar locked in, I personally really like the Kerrigan just because I feel like Kerrigan is favored into both of those heroes. Yes, there is the fear, but generally, I mean, you have the Tyrael Sanctification to help you out of that. Generally, you shouldn't both be, I mean, you both are diving together, but it's pretty easy to be able to not stack while you're diving, just because you have those two heroes, and then Tracer's very mobile on her own. But there are other options here. They could go Leaming as well, Leaming plus a second tank. Looks like it is going to be Johanna. Okay, so Johanna Chromie. Man, that's crazy. On this map, the 3 EU teams have always gone Johanna plus a mage, but it's been a different mage every single time. I mean, and every single time it provides a lot of wave clear. So, I mean, I guess on Towers of Doom, they prioritizing clearing the mid wave and then being able to rotate out off of that, which makes sense.
Mandy, what do you think about the Chromie?
I'm just staring at it because in ANZ, Chromie is pretty much like a staple on Towers of Doom for those teams that can play it, and it's very, very weird to see it being brought back, I guess, because we've seen her Li Ming, Jaina, Gul'dan being prioritized over her. I guess a lot of teams know how to play around her now, but I'm really looking at that being picked into Maiev. That's what's really scaring me.
I like the fact that we see the Chromie for Method because it does open up a lot of decision making for the Tracer and area to be able to play onto the map. We see North America picking up another Zeratul here. It seems like that is going to be very much North America's answer, or at least Heroes Hearth answer, to the Tracer playstyle that's coming out from the European region. But this draft is very strange. I like the Chromie because it does allow, what I was saying was why it allows it is because she's such a good counter to Siege, right? If you're like, oh, you're gonna pressure bottom, we just shift our Chromie to that lane. She throws out a couple of spells. If Tracer gets pressure elsewhere, it's likely to be profitable, but I can't help but feel like Method didn't seem to be displaying that level of synergy and macro transitions for me to look at that and go, yes, this is going to work out. They seemed very deathball oriented, and that's where I go, if you match toe-to-toe into team fight for Heroes Hearth, I think they're going to be the ones who pull ahead.
A lot of comfort picks for Method, having Nyx Chromie, having the Tracer for Schwimpy. Thoughts now as you start to look at how these drafts are going to match up?
I mean, I think I echo Dread's sentiment where I feel like the 5v5 team brawl favors Heroes Hearth.
Yeah.
And on the side of Method, they've picked up the tools to be able to macro, right? They have that Johanna Chromie, they have a lot of wave clear, but are they going to be able to do it? And that's the thing is, from what I've seen from them today, I don't think they are. To be frank, I feel like Heroes Hearth will want that 5v5 team fight, and Method is not going to be disciplined enough to just go back to macro, right? They're going to see a little bit of an opportunity and kind of get baited into a 5v5 team fight when they should just prioritize clearing the waves.
Keep that ball rolling. Predictions?
I'm going to give it to Heroes Hearth, game 1.
Mandy?
As reluctant as I am, I also feel Heroes Hearth, and a lot of that reasoning as well is because Method was saying that shot calling is one of their greatest weaknesses at the moment, and I just haven't been feeling it from them today.
Dread?
I'm going to go with Heroes Hearth as well. The kind of final selling point for me was that #1 Tyrael was a bit weaker earlier. Sanctifications weren't necessarily working out, and they also were staggering quite consistently heroics on very long-oriented fights. And in every cooldown that, not everyone, but majority of the cooldowns that they have that are long are very high impact, like the Twilight, this Tyrael. And so I think I give it over to HeroesHearth. I think I can expect Method to stagger those.
Yeah, because of the sanctifications that we saw earlier from Method 2, and the fact that HeroesHearth is more than willing to go back into a very similar style composition on towers, shows they have faith. And that faith is enough for me to give my vote to HeroesHearth. But what do you guys think at home? Method versus HeroesHearth Esports. You've seen them both now. You know this is a best of 3. That's elimination. And you guys do not agree with us, and that's okay. We are totally down to be proven wrong by Method. Let's see if they can do it as we head into HeroesHearth versus Method.
I think the people at home are remembering the strength of Tracer for Schwimpy. You cannot ignore that guy.
I also feel that our desk is currently a little bit NA heavy. I'm not quite sure, like a tiny little bit there.
Just a little bit here. We'll see if HeroesHearth is able to get a victory over Method here. Remember, loser of this best of 3 goes home.
Yeah, and to the left side now, we have at this point HeroesHearth with BBJ on Rhaegar, Ishbu on Blaze, McIntyre on Zeratul, Krone finds himself on Gul'dan, and Maiev is played by Athlon.
On the right side in the red, Method, Kirsten playing Malfurion, Athuro and Johanna, Nick on Chromie, Arcaner on Tyrael, and Schwimpy being played, or playing Tracer.
There's a couple of, at this point, how often he plays Tracer,
you might as well call it, yeah.
Exactly. There's a couple of things to talk about here for sure when we talk about the heroes in particular. And let's talk about Maiev. She has been played today 5 times and she won 4 out of those 5 games, sitting at an 80% win ratio. And interestingly enough, the only time that Maiev lost was when HeroesHearth played her in the series against Dignitas on this very map. So the only team that has lost with her so far.
Ooh, they might actually lose her here. Gonna be able to drop down the Vengeance here. Shrimpy goes in for the chase. Johanna comes in with the Condemn. We've already seen the Vault, but it is a low cooldown. Won't be up in time. Arthlon tries to sneak by, but no. He falls. Method gets the first kill.
The counter aggression against Shrimpy as McIntyre moves in, and that's the kill. Tracer goes down. Well done. Great player from Zeratul, cutting her off immediately. So good aggression from Method early on, but HeroesHearth answers with a quick counter kill.
That's right, biting back here. So for a 1-for-1 for both of our teams. 3 to phase up pretty darn soon, but first, it's all about those sappers. We'll see if either team will be moving in for them. If a team is going to make a move, I would assume it would be HeroesHearth. Having that Rhaegar and Gul'dan makes it much easier for them to move in for the sappers, and they do so on the left. Now, last time we saw this, Method actually got pretty aggressive onto Hearth and tried to take away their sappers. This time, not so much.
Yeah, playing it a bit safer here. When we talk about heroes, there's one other hero that I want to point out. But first, we have McIntyre at the top, finding himself in a lot of trouble and pain. Schwimpy and Arcana are both starting to chase him down. And that is the end of Zeratul, so the second kill coming in for Team Method.
But HeroesHearth, realizing that Zeratul got picked, went for an invade, and they take away the sappers from Method.
Exactly, you have 2 heroes at the top lane. You immediately know that you have a numeric advantage at the bot lane. HeroesHearth react perfectly, go in, and they start to take the camp away. So well played by them, and a good reaction to what's happening on the map.
I will say that for North America today, hang on, Tether comes in, Schwimpy's just fine. I feel like a lot of the macro play that I missed out on last year has been improved upon greatly. They're making the calls that make sense here. That was a great read by HeroesHearth.
Yeah, I really like it. And the reactions that they have in general, and that goes for all of the North American teams, not only HeroesHearth,
exactly,
has today been very good. They exploit weaknesses way more than they have in the past, and it shows. European teams today have been struggling. But now Method, I can tell you one thing. Talking to the players, talking to Athero and to Schwimpy, they were pretty tilted after the first series where they lost. And Athero in particular, he was mad. He just said like, yeah, I'm not happy at all. And he, before this game started, looked at me and said like, I'm tilted. And I'm just relax. And he's like, no, don't worry. We're going to win this. We're going to win this 100%, but I'm still tilted.
To echo that, Arthlon and I, or not Arthlon, Athero and I occasionally have this banter between us where I'm like, all right, is it time for the butcher? Is it time? And he usually smiles and say yes and just, all right, Trixler, go away. But this time he's like, no butcher today. You know he's very serious about getting his win today.
Yeah, and they are going to try, but the same is true for HeroesHearth, of course. They had the win against Dignitas, the one game that they took, and now, of course, they want to make this a series. They are trying to take Method down here. And one of the heroes that I was trying to talk a bit about earlier is Tyrael, because he's really a bit of surprise. He's been the hero that has been played the most today out of the entire hero lineup that we have in the game. He's been played 8 times, and the interesting part for me is he lost 5 out of all those 8 games. Really bad win ratio for Tyrael, but he offers so much that he appears in nearly every single draft thanks to the shields, the sanctification, just everything that he enables. He's such a good enabler that even with the win ratio being this low right now, he adds a lot and the teams are picking him consistently.
Well, they're looking for a pick on Crowan here. He'll be hit on the side, gonna be having the Maiev turn around though and drop down the bind, which makes Method back up as Crowan was running straight towards his turrets to be just fine. Now back to your Tyrael point, actually, hang on. Ishbu looks like he wants to force a fight, moving up with Arthwan on the side. His bind will be up in a second here. Will he be able to get the tether? Nah, decides to back up as Nick hits some damage.
And Shrimby at this point just dancing in the chase as we're used to, but you can tell that there's a lot of pressure on him, and that is going to increase once that Zeratul is going to join these fights.
Zeratul, very annoying there, especially moving into the cleave build that we saw the first day from the Zeratul from our first matchup. We're going to go ahead and watch as HeroesHearth actually steps forward to invade into Method's territory. Shwimpy comes around from the side.
Yeah, and here comes the KO against Gul'dan, and he is down. Crowan dies, and that's the kill that Method was looking for. The rest of the teams arrive at the same time. BBJ is low, but it's Tracer that falls. Shwimpy in trouble, but here comes Nick, and he eliminates Rhaegar from the backline.
It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade, and Alter activates in 20 seconds. Two of them, in fact, one in the middle and one to the south, meaning that we're going to have a few points available for both of our teams. We will have both Rhaegar and Tracer come online just to be in time for these fights, but our teams will have to play a little bit more defensive.
And talking about Tracer, it feels so good to just see Shwimpy again on Tracer here. They didn't play Tracer in the previous series. First of all, Team 12 did a great job banning her out in game number 2, and they themselves early picked her in the first game, so they denied Tracer to Method. Now Method can rely on one of their strongest heroes. And it's not only Tracer, we also know that Chromie, for example, is just an absolutely key hero for Nick. And the draft that we see for Method, just right down the comfort zone.
We do have Temporal Loop picked up for Chromie. A bit difficult against the Rhaegar, having that cleanse available, but they're able to grab the Rhaegar. That's where you can get that kill, which should be moving in for the fight. Constant poke between our two teams on this Altar as Zeratul is finally about to show up in the fight here. He sees Tracer in the middle lane and he's floating around for the moment.
Yeah, also slight adjustments in builds. When we look at Ishbu here, currently a bit out and trying to create space for his team. We're seeing him in level 4 with the Oil Dispersal. So going away from the adhesive petroleum that we usually see on 4, but still committing fully with a level 7 talent, the Grill and Kill.
Grill and Kill, 40 stacks of the 60 that you need to get that extra 2 seconds and a little bit of damage. Poke constantly coming out here as a thorough steps forward. Ishbu very healthy as he's doing a really good job of zoning out Method, but Shwimpy finally come into the fight, getting a little bit of harassment himself. 10's right around the corner. HeroesHearth is actually in the lead.
Yeah, and Arthur did a great job on Maiev just now, tethering Tyrael and pushing him back in. So it was well done here. They also get the channel, and that will put them in the lead. Method falls down to 28 points on their core, whereas HeroesHearth is still sitting at 32, and they have the earlier level 10. So a lead for HeroesHearth in this first game.
Gotta call out BBJ, man. Playing very careful on that Rhaegar. It's too often that you see from Rhaegar players that they'll get into a spot where they try to go for that bite.
Yeah.
But against the Chromie, the moment he saw Temporal Loop come up, he has been playing safe and hasn't given that opportunity away. A great play there from him.
Yeah, so at this point, we have the level 10s coming in, and of course, once again, it's the Warden's Cage for Maiev. We're currently seeing a pretty big focus here for the Fan of Knives. Again, Elune's Wrath on level 7 has been a constant in most of these builds. The Blade Dance on level 4, and the Pursuit of Vengeance on level 1, going in on the cooldown reduction here with the Umbral Bind. But interesting as well is that we have once more this Cleave build for Zeratul. That has been the focus for HeroesHearth. We've seen it in their first series. They really like that, and going into these big team fights, set something up with the Warden's Cage that bring the AoE damage from all sides, with Zeratul, with Gul'dan here, of course, as well.
And the latest buffs make it very appealing. Oh my gosh, a cleanse into an Ancestor Healing. Crowhen somehow survives. Shwimpy kiting away with McIntyre, dropping the Void Prison, going for Shwimpy, he gets the kill.
Boss mode, absolute boss mode here. McIntyre with their play, and they go for Arcana, and they get the double. They're trying to get the third one in as well, and it's the triple as Johanna falls. But McIntyre with that play, first they're forcing Tracer for the recall. She dashes out, gets the shield to Tyrael, and then he has the absolutely perfect play here. Down to the last frame, drops the Void Prison, makes sure nobody can help Shwimpy, goes for the kill, and delivers the next two.
McIntyre and BBJ, you cannot forget about that cleanse and the Ancestor Healing, making it much easier for them to stay alive, and HeroesHearth able to get that pick. But with an altar spawning here, HeroesHearth moves straight into it, grabs it pretty easily here as Method is working working on just getting to lanes.
Yeah, and Heroes, I mean, again, that was such an insane play that we saw, and it makes it so hard for Tracer. We talked about it in the early stages, that there's going to be a lot of pressure on her, not only because of Maiev, but also Zeratul coming in, and that was just proven.
HeroesHearth is about to hit 13, and they'll take their massive advantage of their opponents a full level and work on grabbing a bell tower. A Thorough on the side, gonna come in and drop a Condemn. They do hop on top of Crow, and with Curson coming around from the back left, he will have that Twilight Dream available, but so far with the bunker coming out, nothing should be available.
Yeah, forcing the bunker for now, but they don't have the 13. Being a level behind makes it difficult for Method to engage into these. But again, Crone in trouble, Ancestral not ready for another 10 seconds. They're not committing fully. And as I say, they go in with a Sanctification. Crone gets blown up. Shrimpy with a play. Gul'dan goes down. The cage is used, but Maiev falls, and all of a sudden it's Method with the talent disadvantage going in and going for the triple.
They get the 3 kills, finding the opportunity of the Ancestor Healing not being up. Had it been up, they could have saved him.
Who needs 13?
They don't need 13. Method able to get the kills, and now they have 13, so they'll be pretty happy there. But what are they going to do here? They're going to open up the battleground at all. They've gotten the talents even. That's great for them. We'll see if they get some pushing on the bottom of that bell tower, but for the most part, Method, even though they get those kills, don't really open the map too much.
Yeah, for Method, it was still... I mean, it came at the right time.
Yeah.
HeroesHearth was starting to pull ahead here. They got the kills, they got a bit of momentum, they had a leading experience, and of course also in the core points. But now, through that triple, we see Method starting to gain a little bit more ground and also close that experience gap their opponents had over them. So now with another 2 altars activating on the map, it should be an even exchange, but that definitely brought Method back into it.
We'll see how Method positions. So far, they put Johanna and Tracer up, which will help out in the poking to prevent their opponent from grabbing the altar.
Mac.
Crow and Reduce. Void Prison comes out.
Void Prison comes out. Ethereal with the interrupt starts to move in. Method wants to. They have Chromie and they already channeled their own. Now they're starting to move in. Nick with the shots here. Krone gets interrupted once again. Arcana in position for it. Shrimpy dancing, looking for the opening, but Ishbu the entire time with the old spell.
He's gonna go ahead and drop the Pyromaniac, staying alive here, getting the armor up as well as he holds that front line.
Once again, Ethereal looking for the opening. Interrupt comes in.
Another delay into a Condemn.
Here comes the Horrifying. They're trying to go for Johanna.
Oh, it's gonna hit there, and the Thorough is going to fall. The bunker pops out as well. The Ancestor Healing as we're gonna have Gul'dan jump into it.
Zeratul is down. The Sanctification on the ground as Method is retreating.
Chrome keeps up the poking. Ishbu goes in for another engage.
This is not over yet. The altar is still there. Method, are they retreating? HeroesHearth is low, and Method says, all right, you can have this one.
A little bit too difficult there, missing out on their main tank. Gonna be a bit hard for them to go in for that engage, but HeroesHearth still ahead, 28-20.
Yeah, fireworks here. I'm really liking it. 14 kills at this point, 11 minutes into the game, and a lot of aggression coming from both teams. Method needs to prove something here. They came into this as the 3rd-seeded team in Europe, and they said, hey guys, we will take down Fnatic if we face them again. We will show everyone how good we are. We believe we are going to be one of the 2 teams in the finals. And then with a new patch coming in, they started to be a little bit on the iffy side. They didn't quite know what to do. They have to prove how strong they are. And HeroesHearth, they are here to take games. They are here to take them down and take the series.
I'm crazy. Have we seen a successful temporal loop yet from Chromie?
No.
I don't think we have yet, which is making it very difficult for them to move in. Now, obviously, Rhaegar's playing really well, playing in the back line, making it hard to land that temporal loop. But you would think that even with the Blessed Shield coming out into the cleanse, you could follow it up right afterwards. It just seems that Method can't find the moment to get it.
I really like what we just saw. I mean, you're absolutely right on your point with the temporal loop here, but I like the disengage that we saw on Maiev. They moved in, they saw they had an opportunity, but as we see HeroesHearth rotating into the middle, they immediately back off. They don't commit Blessed Shield, they're not trying to get the kill. It would have been a bit too greedy, and they're just saying, okay, we put free damage on, just back off for now, because they are going to try and catch us, and if they do, this might turn against us.
Well, Altar's activating in 20 seconds. 3 ultras available for both of our teams. Method positioning aggressively towards the south, with Tyrael holding the top side. But we have Arthlon using Maiev to grab the mercenary camp at the top, which will be a bit difficult for that fort, as it will be pushing in.
We have 16 now. Smite the Wicked has been taken by Arcana on level 16. And I also want to quickly highlight that when we talk about Chromie, we have 28 points currently on her quest. So Nick not getting as many Sandblasts as he usually does.
Yeah, that's pretty low there. Ooh, Thorough comes in, misses a busted shield, but the pulse bomb does connect. BBJ is low, but he disengages, sneaking away. That busted shield hurt.
Ishbo with a bunker here, but yeah, missing the Blessed Shield. Big problem here for Method. The fight continues. Bunker is down. Both teams on 16. Points on the core, 24-16 in favor of HeroesHearth as they're looking for a kill.
Void Prison is still up and available. McIntyre can drop it at any point. Arthlon's on the bottom left. He can move in for a fight if he needs to.
And at this point, once again, we're seeing them coming in from the side. Maiev looking for an opportunity. Shwimpy dancing in, dishing out the damage.
Gets a little bit of damage in there. Some poke continuing from Nick. Ishbu holding that choke pretty well. Makes it much harder for Method to channel.
Yeah, they're still trying to control the space here, but it's really difficult. Also a good anchor here once again with a quick sand prison, time prison coming in, and here comes Shwimpy.
Shwimpy finds Arthlon, gets a little bit of damage in there. Arcaner helping out with some Pokemon. Druins goes in for the front line, but he gets engaged upon.
Yeah, and there's the Horrify, and that's
Wow.
the kill. Well played. Nice interrupt against the Sanctification here. Great play from HeroesHearth, and Method once again on the retreat, but here comes McIntyre with a Void. They're trying to go for the kills. The Warden setup is in Maiev with the cage, and they're trying to take them down.
The Twilight Dream!
The Twilight Dream straight out of hell, and they are dropping.
They are dropping. Third member, a fourth member as well. McIntyre trying to escape. Shwimpy is given chase at the moment. McIntyre goes in for a engage himself and actually gets a pick at the same time, but Shwimpy and a Thorough in tandem should get the kill.
It's a bloodbath, Athlon, and he goes down as well. 8 kills in total. A massive fight here. HeroesHearth going up against Method. The original kill against Tyrael, and then all of a sudden we're seeing the setup attempt with a Void Prison as Method attempts to retreat. The cage is in play by Maiev, but then Curson with that Twilight Dream going God mode.
That team fight was wacky. Sappers grabbed here. Shwimpy grabbing a few to push on the bottom side. Method able to grab the altars. 20-16 in terms of score. We are going to the wire here on game number 1.
Yeah, we definitely are, and this is just super fun. This is, I want to see a 3-mapper. I mean, at this point, this is just awesome to watch. Camps are taken now, Method going for their own. They are still closing. They have 16 on their core, 20 on the core of HeroesHearth. An experience advantage for Method. And you know, that could translate into an early 20. If they have that, they can once again push the envelope a bit and try and set up for aggressive plays.
Chromie hitting level 18, getting Piercing Sands on that level 18, helping with some additional damage. So we're going to be watching the Piercing Sands. They try to hit back lines, etc., etc. 20-16 as the bell tower falls. Chromie steps up, fires away. Shwimpy moves in, gets some harassment on Arthlon.
Method gets a lot of momentum here. And a lot of it is because of the Twilight Dream, but also Shwimpy popping off in the earlier series already with Genji. They still lost the series, but you can see that today he's really the one who's trying to say, okay, when we need it, I'm here. And he just pushes the damage out with Tracer and gets the kill in. And Kirsten, of course, always a staple in this lineup. Great play by the two of them.
Some flashbacks to BlizzCon 2016. Give me the Tracer.
Yeah, give me Tracer and I'll deliver. And Shrimpy does exactly that today.
Arcaner goes in. Ishbu on the side with the root popping out. Method finds out they can't really force a fight they would like. They need to play passive anyways. They want to get level 20. With Chromie controlling the bottom left lane though, HeroesHearth takes a small opportunity and takes the bell tower to the top right.
Shrimpy still with a pressure play here in the middle. They can try and delay here. It's 10 seconds, so there's definitely a chance for them.
Control the space.
Chromie is in position, and right now, HeroesHearth realizes that they're actually trying to set up a boss play.
They are setting up a boss play. A Thorough moves in. He will have the Blessed Shield available.
They have
At the same time, McIntyre is controlling. He has Void Prison as well.
They have Sank, they have everything. The channel is through, and Chromie is on the way. Void Prisoner is in, and here comes the play. We see Johanna going straight in. Great play so far. Good zoning from
Thorough makes a big play there. Moves in with the condemn, pulling everyone in. The boss damage helping out as well. Method is moving in to clean up this fight with Nick joining in.
Another kill, Gul'dan falls, and HeroesHearth is getting slapped around at this point. Level 20 is in play here, and I mean, Ethereal alone did so much work there already, but then we have the rest moving in, and they just get kill after kill. The first to fall, in this case, is Zeratul, and then Maiev as well, and they take the boss. They claim everything on the map now.
Love the play there from a Thorough, realizing the Void Prison is out, does everything he can to disrupt any follow-up from coming in, which allowed Method to win that team fight. And they get a few more shots, and for the first time in this game, Method will take a lead, 16-12, as they work on taking their bell tower back.
Yeah, now, of course, the 20 is in play for HeroesHearth as well. We are seeing the Storm Talons, and that is an opportunity for them to maybe turn this one around, but it's not going to be easy, since Method is definitely stepping it up big time.
Shadow Mending picked up for Zeratul, looking to get a little bit more healing in these fights with his harassment. So, well, we don't have to have Rhaegar chase him around. Condemn comes out. A throw is controlling the space right now, but watch out. Zeratil's coming in for a flank, but Shwimpy, he finds him right away. He gets stuffed, goes in for the fight, tries to put some damage in, but McIntyre barely survives.
Yeah, he barely survives, but he has to back off, and that allows now once more Method to steal one of the camps away. So they are applying the pressure here. 12 points on the core for HeroesHearth, 16 for Method, and they just turn on the heat at this point. They're going for camp after camp. They're attempting to set up the position for the bottom altar now too, and this is where HeroesHearth really needs to take a stand.
HeroesHearth is taking that stand. McIntyre's in the bottom bush, so is Crone as well.
Once again, the poke from Shwimpy, going straight for the backline here.
DP and Horrify are up and available. HeroesHearth needs to land those.
Really nice damage by Crone, putting Shwimpy in an awkward position.
He has to tap the well. Heals on up. Nick continues to fire away.
And Ishbu the entire time with the oil spills here, but the interrupts are strong against the channel attempts from HeroesHearth.
A thorough finds Zeratil. Zeratil jumps in, goes in for the harassment, misses the spike.
McIntyre's looking for that setup. He wants the Void Prison.
He wants that Void Prison so Crone can follow it up. Shwimpy goes in, and here's a Temporal Loop.
The Temporal Loop, and this time no damage follow-up, but Zeratil goes down. Shwimpy again popping off in the backline. Best shield comes out. Here's the cage. Arthlon is trying to help his teammates out.
HeroesHearth needs to get out, and they know it so they don't lose the game. A thorough following up with a ballistic shield trying to force the situation, but it doesn't pan out. Method, however, with their one kill, are able to grab the altar.
They get the altar, and now HeroesHearth is down to 8. Arthlon clearing the mid wave as we see Method applying the pressure at the bottom.
Keeping up with it. If they can take this bell tower, great for them, especially with the middle wave already being low.
Yeah, they want the bottom control right now. If you claim both of these altars and then get the camps, that would be fantastic, but they want more than that. They're looking for the kill. They're going for Crone.
Crowan, Ancestor Healing, can he get it off? Oh my gosh, he doesn't have to use it in the bunker. Saving Crowan despite him getting locked in a hard place.
Ethereal, of course, is already on the move back here. He is indestructible on 20, but he doesn't want to proc it just yet. Still a 4 versus 5 in Method's favor, and they are trying to aim for that bell tower, but it's rough going as HeroesHearth is doing a good job with the defense.
Yes, they are holding this quite well. Zeratil will be back in a second too. That means they'll have the Clash Stack back in action right away as the Method continues to poke at the side. Temporal Loop comes out, will land on top of Ishbu. He pops the Pyromaniac, keep up the armor.
Yeah, but at this point, Nick is starting to get a few more stacks in, but we still have to call it out here. 51 stacks so far, and we are already 20 minutes into the game. He has a rough time completing his quest.
Been difficult to land, but he is getting close. 8 away, 2 altars respawning very soon for our teams. Method continues to control bottom space.
Talking about quests, Crone hasn't completed his quest either. Arcana, by the way, trying to steal the camp away, jumps in deep, but doesn't get it. But yeah, Gul'dan has not completed Echoed Corruption. He's sitting at 38 stacks, and we're talking 21 minutes into the game.
2 more stacks for Crowan, 8 more for Nick, who will get it first.
Yeah. I mean, as frustrating as it must be for Gul'dan in particular to not have the quest completed, once it does, that's a big power spike that hits, and that is going to make Method's life so much harder.
Especially when you mix it with level 16, the Release Affliction. So we'll see if HeroesHearth is able to finish that off. They have to grab one of these altars. If Method grabs both of them, they win.
Yeah, HeroesHearth needs another couple of big plays, and there they are. Tracer is down. That's the kill. McIntyre showing up once more, and they deliver the double as Tyrael is down. The Void Prison has already been chosen. The cage set up as well. Nick is in trouble, trying to go for the timeout here. Ethereal on the run. Curson is desperately trying to keep them alive somehow.
A Thorough was able to pop the Warden's cage there, just stay alive. Ancestor Healing comes out as well. Temporal Loop connects. Does Nick have the combo? Boom! He goes for it, but barely misses a full kill as McIntyre seeps away.
Ethereal, on the other hand, is also about to fall here. Barely kept alive, and no way.
And Method keeps 3 alive. Crowan is able to pull over and grab the altar, which awards him a nice 4 shots, putting Method down to 12.
All right, we have a fun game on our hands. 4 points on the core for HeroesHearth, 12 for Method. But the momentum in favor of the blue team, the North American team, takes the bottom bell tower.
This is huge. Grabbing that bottom tower puts Method in a spot where they have to take it back at some point. And if they do, HeroesHearth can take the boss and remove it from the field. And that boss spawns right now.
And the entire time, I mean, it's really Zeratil, it's McIntyre who makes a ton of these plays. He's died 5 times. He died more than any other player in the game. But he also is the one that had so many plays here where he has the setup with the Void Prison, where he kills a hero at the most crucial point in time. So we have to really watch out for him. He needs to get a few more of those plays, and especially against Tracer. If they can take down Shwimpy, that would be a huge start into the team fights.
Method has set up camp here on the boss, not allowing HeroesHearth to move in and grab it. If they were going to be there, if they can get a pick, they can move in for the boss themselves and end the game. HeroesHearth has to be careful.
Yeah, exactly, especially of Shrimpy. As we said before, he has delivered 10 of the 16 kills of Method, and he's looking for number 11. Arcana eating a lot of damage though, and by now we have the quest on Crowan's cooldown completed, and we could already see that in action.
Chromie as well finishing our quest, but we can't forget about that bell tower on the bottom right corner. It has not been grabbed back there by Method, and with the next ultra spawning in the middle, it's much easier for HeroesHearth to control that bottom side.
Exactly, and now Method also knows that they need to make sure they're winning the next few fights, because if they don't, yes, HeroesHearth might be down to 4 points on their core, but the boss is on the map. They already lost one bell tower. If they lose another team fight, this is probably lights out. So at this point, Method, they know they are in for a very, very rough next minute.
Arcaner comes up to scout out the boss. They see Arthlon on the side, just barely. A Thorough controls the altar until his teammates show up. So some poke is available with McIntyre lurking in the shadows.
And up at the top, boss has started. And BBJ, he sees it. Arthlon is also there. Immediately attacked by Shrimpy against the shield. A little bit of space created by Ethereal as he moves in against McIntyre and Crowan. But this fight is all over the place.
Ishbu goes in for the engage. He will hit Shwimpy, but Shwimpy's able to sleep away. Low on health, has to use a recall. Can he escape? Arthlon gets a swipe!
Arthur goes in to Horrify, and that is the end of Malfuria and HeroesHearth with a double kill. Altar on the map, boss as well. That's 9 points right there for HeroesHearth. That puts Method down to 3, which means a camp can end the game.
Method was hoping to maybe delay, but they couldn't move in. Too much control between Crowan and Ishbu. The boss, as you mentioned, is up and available. A Thorough moves into the bush on the right side. They find Arthlon, who's in the top, being a little bit cheeky there. He gets hit, and Tawero Loop is coming out, and the clip is too early. The combo comes out, but the Ancestor healing keeps him alive.
Ethereal, on the other hand, he needs to go back from this one. He gets Tetherlink being back pushed in. Ethereal, does he have the shield? He does. Can he survive, though? Here comes the Boy Priest. He's trying to dodge it, but once again, Zmaev is going in the backline. Arthlon with the kill. He gets it. Sanctification on the ground. Ethereal is attempting to keep them alive. Just somehow, the timer has already started, but Chromie goes down, and so does Tyrael.
HeroesHearth wipes Method completely. We'll have the Fury up in 10 seconds, but it's not in time to save this bell tower. It goes down the top side. HeroesHearth, they can go to the middle as well and open up the map completely. They have the win in their sights.
That's checkmate. If they get it, that's checkmate right there, because they can simply go for boss, and there's nothing Method can do. There's nothing they can do. They have to reclaim a bell tower, but at the same time, they can't let the boss go. That's a checkmate spot right there. HeroesHearth is going to take this one way or another.
They go straight for the boss. They start it up. If it goes down to 4 shots, which it should be, Method's doing their best to poke the bell tower at the bottom, but with McIntyre in there to run interference, they will be unable to do so. And you're right, Calidor, HeroesHearth is going to be able to get a massive victory over Method in this best of 3 series.
Arthlon with the B-steps and the quick suicide here. The game is over as HeroesHearth takes victory in game number 1 of the best of 3 series and takes the lead against Method.
These matches are blowing my mind. HeroesHearth, a